Hey everyone, Carrie back here from Family eBiz, where we help families start and scale online businesses so they can find freedom. Freedom to do the things that they enjoy doing and the things that they are called to do. Today, I am talking to you, my Summit friends, about how I increased my launch signups by 70%. I had no idea this was actually going to happen, but thank you, it really did. It was all about doing some very simple tweaks. And today I want to share some real numbers, some real results, and how you can do the same. But before I move forward, I'd like to just introduce myself because some of you know me and some of you don't. So I do have a few little pictures. Unfortunately, a few of them are a little old, but this is actually with my grandkids. And I actually do pray that they would have freedom in their lives, freedom versus security, freedom to do the things that they feel God has called them to do. But let me just introduce to you my family because they are part of Family Evis. My kids are all grown. Two of them are married with kids. Hunter, the baby, is getting married in a month from whenever you listen to this, because I'm recording this in April and he's getting married in May, and you're probably watching this in April unless you bought the VIP. Good job. All right, so let me just see if I can show you this. They're not the greatest pictures, sorry. This is Ashley. She's married to Jesse. They have Faith and Elizabeth. Ashley, when she was here at home, she did all our travel arrangements. She did everything as far as planning and dealing with speakers and that type of thing when we ran events. This is Gentry right here. She is married to Andrew, and they have Landry and Deacon. All of those grandkids have grown up a lot. I'll just take a break and introduce. So there is Faith and Elizabeth from Ashley, and this is Deacon and Landry. So yes, and they've even grown up since then. Gentry, in high school and in college, she ran our whole shipping department, our whole customer service department. She did our bookkeeping. Actually, all the kids have done bookkeeping. And then when they took a college class on accounting, they're like, oh, now I understand. And then finally, we have got Hunter. Hunter is the baby of the family. He is getting married in a month on May 17th. I wish I had some pictures. I don't, of his fiance and our newest granddaughter, Sloan, who has just joined the family back in January. Why do I share that? Because I believe that your business and my business affects our family. It is not just about me going out and making a bunch of money or me going out and finding freedom. Hopefully, there is something deeper than that. And one of the reasons that I actually have an online business is the freedom to go and be with my kids and my grandkids. For example, next week, I have the freedom to go and spend the whole week with Gentry. She needs a little help with the kids, especially the baby, who's like, what, 3 or 4 months old, while her husband is away, and she has just started back to work. An online business gives me the freedom. An online business, not just an online business, an online business that makes consistent money. So today I want to talk about one of my strategies that I have used. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I have been an entrepreneur since I was 7 or 8. I was talking to my mom saying, don't you remember me going door to door selling current stationery? And she's like, yes. But I will tell you, back in 2020, I lost half of my income. Seriously, half of my income. And that is the year I took my hobby online business to a full-time level. And I didn't do some of the things I'm going to tell you. I've just done them recently because this whole thing is what's hot right now. I'm talking to you about what is hot, what has worked for me in 2025. I will say too, I have a niche. I don't just tell people how to make money. I have a niche business, niche or niche, whatever you want to call it. And it's in the homeschool field. And I run 2 annual events there. And in the past, I've only used 2 weeks to promote. And then we got to get going, get everything done in those 2 weeks. I'm going to give you some ideas of how to get over that 2 week pressure stress thing. I will tell you too, these two events usually bring in 30 to 40% of my annual income. So it is very important to me that I do the best that I can and increase it as much as I can. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever rushed getting your launch, your summit, or an online event ready? Like everything had to happen in 2 weeks. Think about it. If that's you, that was me. So I want to introduce to you what I would call a longer runway for events. This past, well, earlier in the year, this year, I opened my cart open 2 months early, and it's made all the difference. Not 2 weeks early, 2 months early. And I am telling you, it completely changed the way I felt, the way my affiliates felt, the way everything went. So let's talk about short runways, long runways, and how you can use a long runway to increase your launch signups to 70%, just like I did. Most people will do a 1 week promotion and sell it and then be done with it and go on to whatever it is. Some good marketers might use a 2 week promotion before an event or to launch their product. The challenges are there is the pressure to create everything, and sometimes you're in last minute mode, or there's really no time to optimize your emails, your ads, and your graphics. Because let's face it, you start 2 weeks early, you have a lot of days to figure out what's working. And if you have an affiliate program, like I do, I have about 170 or 180 affiliates. I realized that if I tell them, here are the only 2 weeks you can promote for this product, and then we're moving on to the next thing, they really miss the chance to promote because of the timing and because other things are going on in their business. So let's talk about some real life examples from short runways and what has happened. In a previous summit, I gave affiliates only 14 days to promote. Many of them wanted to support me, but they didn't have the space in their marketing calendar, even though I told them about it, because in homeschool world, summer is just everyone's trying to do things. And what was the result? Low affiliate sales and lost traffic. There was no time for them necessarily to intertwine my promotion into whatever else they were doing. Another thing is, and this is really true, especially in the homeschool world, overlapping promotions and then burnout. I have run a bundle promotion and a course launch back to school promotion, and I did not have a clear runway. Is that ever you? Do you have a clear runway for your launch of your course or for the launch of a summit or a launch of an event, whatever it is you're doing? I will tell you, when I didn't have a plan, the people I was emailing, my audience felt totally overwhelmed. And so did I. Signups were less than what I expected. And because they were clashing, they didn't know what to sign up for. I think it's really important that when you send an email or social post, they have one call to action. If you don't take anything else away from this, come back to me if you're multitasking. One call to action. That's all. That is if you send, I will tell you, if I send an e-newsletter, I might have 10 things to do, but I don't really care what they click on. But if I want them to sign up for my event, that's all my emails are ever going to be about. I am not going to double up and put my signups with some other promotion. And that is what I've done in the past. That is a no. Next, a rush launch. When you have a rush launch, you have sloppy emails and you miss some posts that maybe you could have done. I will tell you, I started promoting about 1 week out with one promotion, and I was writing emails the night before they went out. Can you relate? Have you ever written an email the night before you need to send it? Yeah, that's me. And that's because of the short timeline. I missed key reminders, certain things I needed to include. When I ran this 2-month launch runway, I had time, one, to make up for my mistakes, and two, to just fill them in generally along the way about what they needed to do. Also, this is like honest to truth tech problems, glitches in the tech. I've had two major events in the last 2 years that the day I opened cart, and that was 2 weeks ahead of time, we had tech problems. We could not get, one of them specifically was shopping cart and payment processor. And I mean, it wasn't necessarily what I was doing, but it was the platform I was using, and it was the little button I had clicked. It was not working. And when the tech does not work properly, it took time away from me and promoting. It took money away from my registrations. It 2 week promotion did not allow for any tech problems. So those are a few of the problems when we have a short runway. Now let's talk about the benefits and how a longer runway can work and how you could implement a longer runway. This year, I ran Life Skills Leadership Summit 2025 in February. That's like 2 months ago from if you're listening to this in April. I opened the cart 2 months earlier, January 1. So we've got the end of February, whatever that was, the 21st, and January 1, open cart, registrations open. It wasn't a full out like promotion then, but I'm telling you, it gave me so much bandwidth. It gave me so much room to not stress out. And one of the things that my family EBIS students say is I'm overwhelmed. I am stressed out about whatever the promotion is. Extend your runway. Here are some of the results. This year, I had 3,453 signups. Last year, in 2024, I had 2,000 signups total. This increased my signups about 70%. It increased my sales 25% from last year, the money I made, to this year, because I had a longer time to be able to collect that money. I wasn't in a rush. And let me just be really honest. I am usually in a rush. That is one of my problems. And so I am learning that giving myself more time helps me really fill out and do all the things that I know I need to do that maybe when I'm in rush, I don't always get done. You have more breathing room. You have the ability to test and tweak your promotions. What do I mean by that? With emails, I had time to send an email and a resend regularly and not bombard my people. I had time to segment my list and write specific emails for each segment. You probably know you need to segment your list. These are all the people that have clicked in the last, well, since January 1st. I want to send something different to them than I will to everyone else. Ads. Okay, I really have not run, I've run ads off and on, but about a year and a half ago, I took a course and it changed everything. But one thing I realized, even though it may have changed everything, I was still in that rush mode when it came to ads for an event. So what did this longer runway do? It gave me the time in January to test at $5 or $10 an ad for 2 or 3 days and see what was working, what was performing the best. It also then gave me more time to advertise. And I will tell you, out of all those people that signed up, 1,500 of them, give or take, it was over 1,500, came from my Facebook ads. That was phenomenal to me. And I plan very much to do the same thing in the summer for my second annual event. Ads were one of the best things that I did during that 2-month longer runway. Now, I will tell you, don't run ads unless you know how to do them. And if you want to know some tricks and tips, let me know. I can share some ideas for you, but that's not what this is about. This is about making that longer runway, reducing the stress and the overwhelm so that you can increase your sales. You can increase the signups, whether that is for a course and signing up for a free webinar or for a course and paying for that course. I will tell you this, that the ads that I ran paid for itself and more. So I made money off of the ads, the better performance through everything that I did with emails or with ads or with my affiliates, and less burnout. Are you burned out? I was just talking about that in my podcast a week ago. When you have that time and you have that cushion, it helps so much. Here's one of the things. If you have an affiliate program, come back to me. If you're multitasking, come back to me and listen. If you have affiliates, this is one of the number one reasons I made the longer runway. I wanted my affiliates to be able to choose when they promoted our event. I knew that in January, there might be some other things going on in our niche. And so they could pick and choose. Some of them had their own promotions. They did not have to promote on a certain week because that was the only week that was available. They could pick and choose all through January and then 3 weeks of February. That gave them 7 weeks to make a decision. I'm going to promote here. And I had some people, heavy promotion in January, nothing in February. I had others that waited till February 1, heavy promotion in February, and not really anything in January. I was able to accommodate my affiliates at whatever level they were. Now, I will tell you, you might be going, well, how does this really work? Like, what does this really work? And how can I duplicate what you're doing, Carrie? That is a really good question. Well, I will say that when you have more time, you have more opportunities to promote in different ways. And here are a few ideas, super easy to duplicate. You can offer early bird bonuses. You can, like, if you have 2 months, you could give a special bonus to anyone that signs up for whatever your product, your course, your event, whatever, the first month. And you can increase the price. That was one thing that I did. January 31st, last day for the super early bird price. February 1st, new price, and it was increased. So instead of increasing a price in a week, like I had to do in the past, I have 4 weeks to do that. My affiliates have 4 weeks to promote it at that price. Then we increase the price after that. I also was able to do some countdown sequences based on the price increase or bonuses disappearing. It also allowed me time to sort of build up some curiosity through my social media and collaborations and podcast interviews. It's not just me, but if I can get on a podcast interview sometime in January, that will help promote the event in February as well. Again, for my affiliates, they can choose their best window to promote, and most signups can come from them. It gives them more overall growth. Let me just tell you, when you have got a longer runway and you're not trying to do it in a week or two, you don't need to hustle harder. You just need to start earlier. Let me repeat that. You don't need to hustle harder. You just need to start earlier. So how can you do this with your own business? I've given you some ideas, but let's just think calendar-wise. Pick your event date or your launch date or whatever it is you're going to do, and then back up 6 to 8 weeks for when your cart will open. And I would tell you, even with my launch of my course, I have done similar things. I backed up and started a pre-launch runway. So we pick a date, go back 6 to 8 weeks, and you get 80% of your materials ready before that date. So this forced me to get the course all ready, all the modules ready. It also forced me to get my emails ready, my graphics, my ads to test. It gave me accountability just by starting earlier. It also will add flexibility when you are testing for what works, ads or emails, or even working with your affiliates. And you can communicate early and often with your affiliates. I would really highly suggest that you map it to your audience's buying powers and your own energy. So here's your audience buying powers, here's your own energy. Where do they intersect? That is where you need to plan your next launch, your next event as well. Now, I will tell you, I have got a free resource that goes along with this, and then I'm going to close out and tell you a few last minute things. This is just something I've had for a while, but when I was planning this session and I start to thinking about what really worked for me, we have something called the Business Marketing Roadmap, and you can use this for a long-term 2-month launch. Let me just tell you, there are some things you might want to do even before 2 months. And so we've got a chart, lead magnets, ebooks, what kinds of things are you going to offer before you ever get to the launch? That is a pre-launch. But here is, I think, the most important thing. This is monthly themed content. So month 1 and month 2, you can use this page. Oh, excuse me just a second. Excuse me, I am so sorry. We have got allergies so badly in Texas. My son is constantly coughing. He just lives with me every once in a while, but I keep hearing all of that. So let's talk about monthly theme for month 1 and 2. What is the theme that you will use to drive people to sign up for a free class or for your paid offer or for the event, whatever it is? You're going to write that down, and these are just notes. Then week 1, 2, 3, and 4, you are going to talk about where and how are you going to share the items in week 1. And then what dates? You're going to put actual dates on this thing. And you'll go through for each week of that month, and then you'll repeat it for month 2. This can really help you get organized. So wherever you're listening to this, it should be on the speaker page. You just click that button and we will send it to you completely free. Business marketing roadmap. Now, I do want to just say, when we think about long runways, what can you actually take away? Think about this. More time, more signups. More time, more sales. More time, less stress, and more time, space to improve everything. Seriously, give yourself more time. I had never done that. I was always in crunch mode. Give yourselves more time so you have more signups, more sales, less stress, and you can have space to improve everything. If you've been cramming your summit or your launch prep into 2 frantic weeks, try giving yourself a little more runway. You'll see better results and you'll enjoy the process more. Let me just tell you, this is working for me and it can work for you. I am Carrie Beck with Family eBiz. We'll talk to you next time.